So from the homework that you did yesterday, I've seen a few, so I'm just going to make some comments. Please, if this affects one of your work and is yet to be graded, please do not change it. You may just write it as a correction, after writing today's dates. I'll say that again. So, take for example, I think today is 7th. It's Thursday, 7th May. Correction. So even if I haven't marked your work, please do not change it for this correction. So you could write today's date and write correction, since you knew that, oh, I didn't do it this way. Alright? Do you get my point? Thank you. Let's start with, I'd like to have yours, Joey. Then I'll remember what I've seen in people's work. Thank you. So the first one that I want to talk about is question 2. Okay, first question 2. Question 2A, the question is to find what? Come on, guys. Question 2A. Oh, you don't have the paper here, I know. But if you look at your solution, you should know. Question 2A, find common difference, right? Somebody eliminated D and found the first term first. Can we always go in the order that the question has asked you? So what I mean is this. After getting equation 1, a plus 2d equals 41. Equation 2, a plus 8d equals 23. Somebody multiplied this by 4, and the first answer was a equals something. Whereas the A part of the question is asking you to find D first, B part is asking you to find A next. So it's like you interchange it. Since this question is about D, you should eliminate A. And I don't know why someone will go through extra effort of multiplying by 4. They have the same coefficient already. That's why the question was ordered in that way. Just subtract. Alright? Then you can get your D first. Although I gave the full points to that person among the 6 that I've just returned to you. So if you are one of them, please arrange it in the right order next time. Okay? Alright. The next thing observation is this. If you look at question 2C, yes, question 2C. Question 2C is asking you, does anybody write the question somewhere?
Yeah, I wrote it.
Okay, can you tell us what the question says? Read it out.
Find the smallest value of n such as n is smaller than 0.
Find the smallest value of n such that Sn is less than 0. Joey, do we have this place on the screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Find the smallest value of n such that Sn is less than 0. Someone decided to solve Sn is equal to, getting n is equal to 32 point something, then wrote a long epistle, in fact about 3-4 lines to explain, then n is equal to 23 and 33. This is waste of time. This is not a matured solution. Okay? You're supposed to follow through with this. Okay? Most people did that I've seen so far. Just solve this inequality. Sn less than 0 simply means n over 2, 2a, so you write here Sn less than 0, so 2a plus n minus 1 into d, right, less than 0. So what is your n over 2? N over 2, 2a, 2 times 47, n minus 1, d, negative 3. This d should be in the bracket. Joey, I forgot to say that. So this d should be in the bracket because it's negative.
Oh.
Without the bracket, it looks like you're subtracting the result of the bracket. Okay? So then this is less than 0. So what some people did was to, okay, so let's write n over 2. This is going to be 94 minus 3n plus 3, which makes sense, of course. So we can simplify for that if you want. 97 minus 3n less than 0. So the next thing I saw in most of you is 97 minus 3n less than 0. I don't know how, can you try to tell me how this disappears? Okay? You just multiply by the reciprocal of this. Reciprocal is 2 over n. Okay? So if you multiply both sides by 2 over n, so 2 over n times this is gone. Then this times 2 over n is still 0. That's what happens. You don't need to open the bracket, it's a waste of time. Okay? So if you do that, then this happens. Then you have negative 3n less than negative 97.
Negative 3n.
Oh, 3n. Okay? Then n will be greater, right? Because now you are dividing by negative. Simple inequality, right? Then n will be greater than 97 over 3. And this is 32 point some decimals. So if n is greater than 32 point something, then n will start from 33, 34, 35. That's why the question says the smallest of them. Okay? So the smallest of them will be n equals 33. Some people wrote this. N is approximately 33. Can somebody tell me why this should not be?
Because it's the 33rd position.
It's the 33rd. You are not approximating. Okay? You are not approximating 32 points, whatever, to get 33. You are following the question. The question says, what is the least, right, among any n that is greater than this? So if n is greater than 32 points, whatever that decimal is, let me see, 32.33 something, right? If n is greater than 33, 32.3 is a continuous number. The first n is 33, not approximation. You can only talk about this approximation if you had n equals 32 points, then you decide to say, oh, so n is like something like this. It also depends on the situation. Before you can actually conclude this, we give you that. But here, there is no approximation. N is 33, that's the smallest number. Okay? Just wanted to make that observation. Also, I think Joey especially did this, which makes sense, of course. Rather than doing this, you can decide to open the bracket. Some people open the bracket. So they did n bracket 97 minus 3n, something like that. I think divided by 2 less than 0. Then you can multiply 2 to both sides. If you multiply 2 to both sides, 2 times this, 2 times that, just to clear the fraction. So I think she did something like 97 minus 3n, still less than 0. Then she opened the bracket. She could have also divided by n from here, but it's okay. So 97n minus 3n squared less than 0. So minus 3n squared is less than negative 97n. Let me see. Or I think she actually took this to the other side. 97n is less than 3n squared. And the next thing she wrote was 97 divided by 3n, which means she divided by n, right? Can you tell me why it is possible to do this?
Why wouldn't it be?
Each one has a factor of n.
Because a factor of n. Okay, I ask you this. Let's forget about it. If your question happens to be, solve the equation. Listen, everybody. X squared equals 9x. What is x?
X is equal to plus or negative.
You want to think about it before you say it. Are you ready?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure.
Do we tell you the steps?
No, just tell me the answer.
Just
Just tell me the answer. Then we can talk about the step later.
X equals 9 or 0?
X equal to,
0 or 9?
so there are two values.
Yeah.
Do you understand what she's saying?
yes.
Yeah.
Do you know it's very tricky to just say divide by x, divide by x, then you say x is equal to 9.
Yeah.
It's very convenient to write this. Yeah? But it's wrong. As you move to the next level, if the question is x to the power n equals some number, there are actually n results. We'll teach you that in complex numbers, especially. There are n results. Now, it's possible some of the other results do not exist as real number. Remember that the video I showed you. No solution, but the solution is actually existing on another plane. Remember that?
Yeah.
On complex number? So some numbers are complex, so that's why they will not reflect. So my point is, this power actually determines how many results. This means there are 2 results. So if you end up getting 1 result, then something is wrong. Do you understand? So if you divide, this is wrong. What you should do is to say x squared minus 9x equals 0. Then you factorize. Then you consider the fact that, if the product of 2 terms is 0, either the first one is 0 or the second one is 0. And that's how Candy got 0 and 9. But this, we can do that here. Yes, Justin?
But still it has to be 9.
What? X equals 0, x equals 9.
0 just.
But here, just say x is equal to 9.
Here
But there
x-
should be 2 results.
So here x is it?
Don't look at this while you're looking at it. There are 2 different messages I'm trying to pass across. Does this make sense, everyone?
Yes.
So one will expect the same thing here. I'm only saying you can actually divide, but under one condition. If it is guaranteed that it is not 0. Is there anything in this question to guarantee us that n is not 0?
N is a position in the sequence.
Say that again.
Because N is a position in the sequence.
N is a position. The position cannot be 0, right?
Kind of a 0.
So since you can't have 0 position, so you can say divide, then in brackets, since n is not equal to 0. Then you have written a perfect solution.
I did not.
Do you understand that?
Yes.
Yes.
But when you are solving normal quadratic, please do not divide. But when it is being applied in sequences or some other, it could be a problem leading to a problem on length of sides of rectangle or age of people. And you know that that variable can never be 0. If you come across the variable on both sides, you can divide. Always put that remark. Oh, since n cannot be 0, so I can divide.